Hey guys, how's it going? My name's Jason and this is my 2018 Tundra double cab. I also did have a 5th gen 4Runner before this, and this UpTop ZULU rack right here is my favorite rack that I've had so far. So I'm sure you're aware of UpTop from their Alpha and Bravo racks. If you have a Toyota, they probably have something for you. If you have a full-size truck, a mid-size truck, anything like that, there is likely going to be a roof rack for you. But I want to focus a little bit more on this ZULU rack right here because that is something I get asked probably the most about. It's either between that and these Morimoto lights. But let's go ahead, get somewhere a little more open space, somewhere where we can breathe a little more. We can take a closer look at this UpTop ZULU rack. All right guys, so this is the new ZULU rack. I have the Morimoto Big Bangers on there, but this is not a specific bracket for that light. You can put pretty much any light in that bracket, and that little section right there has a removable piece, so if you don't want to run a light there, you can just cover that up and you'll have just a nice little front in there. This is mounted in and sits really nice with this. This reminds me a lot of my old Diode Dynamics lights. You could run Bajas, you could run actual UpTop lights themselves. You could easily just put like a bar up there. However, I like the aesthetic of this and I wanted to test these lights out. These are the Morimoto Big Bangers. I really like their lights a lot, and we were easily able to make it fit with the help of UpTop. They were able to put that up there. So kind of see how it mounts. It's going to be up against this actual extrusion. So it'll actually be mounted up on that front little fairing right there. Now you will notice that this shape is a lot different than the other UpTop racks, but it still does kind of tie into that shape where there's one here and that little bump there. This one is just designed a lot more sleek. And the shape is also going to make it so it is very quiet on the highway as well as off-road. So this front wind fairing is going to be a lot tighter. You're going to notice that there are no gaps in the sides there. There really aren't any gaps except for obviously up top where the lights are there. That's really going to help cut down on any wind noise. On the side, we do have the light. These are optional, but I wanted the lighting, so I've got one here. I've got one, and then I've got two down the sides there, and same on the other side. Now this actually is UpTop's lighting. You can get this from them. This will have amber, like an orange, and a white. Now the amber is really nice if you don't need a lot of light, but when I'm at camp, I really like to have that white light out there, and it puts out a good bit of light. Definitely helps me see a lot better at camp, and I've been wanting seam pods for so long. I am really, really glad that UpTop came out with their own. It fits perfectly. You barely even notice them, obviously, except for when they are on. All of their hardware is going to be black, so no black roof rack with the silver hardware. So it'll be all black if that is what you want. And that actually does bring me to my next part, which is going to be this little side panel. So this is actually one piece with a little attachment over top of it. So the really cool thing about that with UpTop is you are going to be able to color match your truck if you'd like. Now for me personally, I feel like this thing is already super tan. There's a lot of tan going on. I didn't want to add to that, so I just went ahead and made it black. So it is a little more difficult on mine to actually see the separation. If you wanted to make it a color matched, or you wanted to go with a different color, then you could do that as well. One of my favorite things, and that is going to be this grab handle. I have one here, one right there, and then one down here. Now these are really nice because if I need to get up on the truck, I can easily just grip onto that, and you're easily up on top just like that. I've not noticed any noise with that. They are very strong, very robust. And you could get similar ones on the old racks, but this one I think is a lot better. All right, so we'll go ahead and hop up on top and take a look at the new design. So like I said before, this is going to be all one piece. So it's one that curves here, and then curves down like this. So that is all one piece there. So they're older designs, and pretty much most racks from any company are going to go straight up and down, and then you're going to attach the crossbars this way with it. On this one, it's a little bit different and makes this so much easier to get to. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 that make it super easy so that I can put a bunch of stuff up. Now this is the double cab, so it does have a lot less cab space. If you have the crew cab for the Tundra or the, I guess the double cab for the Tacoma, you'll have a nice amount of space, which, you know, most of my back one is actually taken up by my FSR tent, but that was always going to be the case for me because I am more of an overlander type person. So just like your Tacoma, you'll have the 2 feet there. If you are opposed to drilling, you will likely not be able to put any roof rack on your Tundra on the front. So just know that going into it, this is a drill application. Now for the back, if you have a fiberglass topper or, you know, any kind of topper, it's very likely that you will have the feet in there. I'll see if I can find some footage of that because it's kind of hard to film. Easily just ties into the mounting points that come with your topper. It is a ranch topper, it is a fiberglass, and it is color matched to my Tundra. Now realistically, this will work with any of your toppers. This is that railing, hard to see from this angle, but let's see if we can close this up. There's that railing right there. So it's going to be on both sides of the topper if you have that option on your topper. And this ties in super easy. You can see that track right there. I have that on both sides. I have that as an option when I bought this topper. So that is how the roof rack is going to tie into that there. If you have the Tacoma, you will not have to drill. If you have the Tundra and you want the cab rack, then you will have to drill to get that. But if you have any truck with a topper and it has those little rails on it, then you will easily be able to add this on there, no issues. So I think for most people, that topper rack will be the most useful. This one is just going to store my max tracks because I've had a hard time finding those in stock. And I actually do have some mounting from UpTop to put those max tracks up there. I will have some boxes or some solar. I haven't decided yet exactly, but both of those will have UpTop mounting options for that. Speaking of, I do have the UpTop risers right there. I believe this is only 1 inch, but the reason we did that, this could be a little more flush if we really wanted to. UpTop has enough space in there to do that. However, because this is separated with the topper, if I'm heavy off-roading, I don't want the tent right there to end up slamming into that. So I just went ahead and put that 1 inch riser from UpTop on there. It just gives me a little bit more peace of mind when I'm off-roading. I have the 6.5 foot bed on mine. If you have the 8 foot bed, you won't need to do that. Or if you have like my old 4Runner, you would not need to do those tent risers if you didn't want to. However, I just find it a little more easier to get to these all the way around. That one on the front there, easier to get to when it has the risers. So another accessory I have tested out, and I'm not running right now just because I am testing out the weight capacity of this topper. I did have their quick release UpTop quick release for the actual awning. I had the Kamek awning on there. I might be doing that again, or I may be putting a 270 awning on the FSR. And yeah, if I do the 270 awning, I know that this roof rack will easily be able to handle it. It's really just a question of whether the fiberglass topper will be able to handle it. Now, because you are getting the rack and the lights from the same company, they do have really great cable management. I don't even notice any of the cables, and everything is wrapped in felt and bolted down. So no issues with any sound, any rattling. There is no rattling on this roof rack whatsoever. No wind noise, nothing like that. We don't have any gaps on this roof rack. This being the first time we've really done the big bangers on there, this went really smoothly. So shout out in a really big way to UpTop and shout out to Micah. A lot of time working on this and getting this working the way it does, because no one had really done a lot with the Morimoto big bangers up there, but I love those, and he was able to make that work. So major thank you to UpTop. So they are here in Colorado, And they have racks for pretty much everything, any make of truck. They'll probably have a rack for you. They also do bed racks as well, which I did have for a little bit, and I was testing that out. That was really cool. I loved that. The aesthetic on that was amazing. I really liked it. However, I am much more of a topper guy. I really wanted that topper, so I didn't run it for too long until I got this topper.